one's going to be a little bit more of a jobbing episode. I'm just in between jobs at the minute, driving my way to the next one. As you can see, I do live quite rurally, so sometimes there is a fair distance between jobs, but you do try and plan them as you go. I do carry quite a lot of stuff in the van, as you'll see on the first job, just because, brake a little bit there, Tom, just because you can be like 45 minutes from my merchants. But I do like jobbing around, but obviously I probably can't do as many jobs in a day as some of the guys in the city, just because the roads are rubbish. You can't do more than 40 mile an hour, but you do have the advantage of having good scenery. So yeah, I do love it around here really. But yeah, we'll get straight into the video if I don't crash. If I don't make it to the end of this road, you'll know there'll be no video. So yeah, if I manage to stick on this road long enough, we'll be good. So yeah, we'll see you in the episode. It'll be a bit more of a jobbing one. Hopefully you enjoy it. As always, thank you for watching. Right, we just turned up at this job, and it actually says on the paperwork, toilet not flushing properly. But to be honest with you, the toilet's flushing fine. And what they've said, it's actually a puddle of water. They've turned something off. I think the isolator's leaking, but it's turned off. So whether something was leaking under here, it's all PTFE and compression fittings. There's water, I don't know. We'll get that isolator changed for a start, and then we'll turn the water on and find out what else is leaking. Look at the state of the plumbing. Yeah, we'll have a look. It says wet through under here. I don't know, is that toilet draining? Making a funny noise. So we'll have a look at it. Everything's been leaking on this lot. Everything's been running down the pipe. So I think what's happened is somebody's come to a leak, they've turned that off. Look, you can see it dripping. Dripping down there. So yeah, we'll get that one swapped out for a start. There is actually a service valve up there if we dare touch it. It's quite a big building, we don't really want to drain a lot. And then the toilet seems fine. It's flushing okay. It might be that these waste pipes are blocked, because they do look to be backfalling a little bit, and that's probably, they did say it was slow draining, so I don't know, we'll have a look. There is actually a valve low down, so we'll try this one first. Hopefully that's got the water off. It's obviously a drinking thing. That's what we put in. So that water there should be off now. So as I say, we'll get that one swapped out.
It's leaking on above then, just not on.
I don't know. Drop of water there, but it's not going to get any wetter than it already is it? At least it's not a block drain, Harry, like it said it was. How can you confuse it for a block drain? I don't know. You know what? I'm doing that PTFE off. PTFE warriors. Bit of jet blue. It'll be fine. Job in town, that. At least the pipe's sleeved. Find out, probably all these compression fittings leaking up top. Right, I'll turn that one off, and then we'll turn the other one back on. Right, we'll turn this on and we'll see what else leaks, because we're bound to get something. Filling the water heater up. What we'll do is we'll dry all that off. I'm sure there's something else leaking up here. Yeah, look, something's just dripping down there. It's on that one.
It's on that one there, so we'll get that one remade. We'll probably just change that valve and then get everything dried up. Look, it's running down. Did we isolate the power to the water heater? No, it should be fine. It should have been full anyway, but what a mess. I don't get why they've done it like that anyway. Look, they've put a T there, took that across there to that basin, but there was a T already on the cold pipe. So they've literally wasted like 1.5 meters of copper doing it like that. It looks like that had a service valve on as well. I don't know, some people, obviously I don't know if they were going to put a blender under there or whatnot, you just don't know, do you? But get that one disconnected and we'll change that ISO valve as well. Hopefully that should be that for Friday. Drop water in that. That will stop in a second. Water is off. I forgot to open the tap. I'm too busy talking to the camera. There we go. Flexes everywhere as well.
Waste are draining fine. So I don't know. On the ticket it said there was a blockage. What I'll do is I'll get all this dried up, make sure there's no leaks. We'll have a good dry up of the floor, and that should be the job done. That toilet's going down lovely. It's not blocked. It's not blocked. I think it was just this leak. It mentioned puddling in the corner and then the toilet not flushing properly, but it seems to be fine. There's nothing wrong with that. I'll check this one as well. That's fine. Missing buttons, but it's not blocked.
Well, I've dried everything up, we've mopped the floor and I can't see anything leaking. I've been round, the best way is just with a bit of blue roll. I think the trouble is, because it's so hot in here and it's so damp, everything condenses. So it's just sometimes hard to tell, but everything looks fine.
Right, I don't know if anybody would be interested in this next bit, so by all means skip ahead or end the video. But what I'm going to quickly show you is just an RPZ valve. I've been doing a little bit of testing today, and it's not something you come across all the time. You do have to be qualified. It is a separate qualification to work on them. But I just thought I'd show it just in case anybody's interested. And I haven't been able to get any footage actually working on the job. It is a little bit difficult to film sometimes in these places because they are generally factories and stuff like that. But I've got one in the back of my van, and I'll quickly run through what it is, what it does, and what we sort of look for when we're testing them. Alright, so by all means skip ahead or end the video, but I'll just quickly show if there's any new plumbers or anybody who's interested in RPZ valves, learning a little bit about them, what it is and what it does. So what we've got here is a category 4 backflow prevention device, BA. You'll see it as classed as a BA air gap in the water regs book. This is an RPZ valve or reduced pressure zone. What you'd have here is a lever valve and a strainer, and generally these are just feeding one appliance. So you'd have potentially on a commercial heating system, that's category 4, but that's category 4 water. Generally nowadays they're done with the microfills with the air gap, so they go into a little header tank and it's pumped. There aren't so many category 4 water supplies, I guess, because a lot of stuff is actually category 5. They're not suitable for category 5. The only thing you can have with the category 5 water, such as even them, like I call them bum guns, you know, you sometimes see them on like the Japanese toilets type things, the spray guns, that's all category 5, so RPZ valve's no good for that. Or animal troughs, again, RPZ valve's no good for that. You've got to have a physical AA air gap, so into a header tank. But category 4 is like sprinkler systems in garden centres. Some factories have got like machines and stuff like that that require water supplies. That is category 4. You do need to be, as I've already probably said, you do need to be qualified. You need the new AIMS 2 document to fit them and work on them, and you do need the equipment. And they are notifiable, so every time you work on one you have to notify your water authority, whether it be Anglian, Trent, whoever your water authority is. You need to notify them before you work on one, because quite often they get fitted and the water board knows nothing about them, so you notify them and it's like, oh, you know, what's this one? But I'll quickly run through what it is. So inside here, it's a bit like a posh double check valve. You've got a series of check valves and this dumps out, so there's absolutely no risk of water running back back into the main, because your main's this side and your machine or your widget machine or whatever it's feeding is this side. And all we're doing, it's a bit like testing gas really. You're testing to make sure these check valves aren't letting by, and we test the buffer and all sorts of that. It is a little bit complicated, but once you've done one or two, to be honest, I have to read it off a document because I can never remember which hose goes where and which bit you open first. So these are just testing. These are just test books. My hoses go on there. We flush the hoses out, and then we run through the set sequence to make sure these check valves aren't letting by and are discharging at the correct thing. What I might do, if anybody's interested, I might rig this up in my garage at some point. That's just a Honeywell one, you see. I don't actually like the Honeywell ones because there's a weird way you've got to test one of the check valves inside them. But yeah, if anybody's interested, what I can do is rig that up in my garage, and we can run through the actual test equipment. I say it's not something you see all the time, but if you ever go to like a commercial heating system, you might see one of them on it. And if you ever wondered what it is, it's you see that one's probably never been serviced. Quite often than not, that's the thing. That is an RPZ valve. They're probably more common in America than over here. And inside of here, you've got. I couldn't actually get the check valve out of this one. But you can actually pull the check valves out of them as well. But this one was stuck in solid, so you can actually whip all them off and get the check valves out. So as you can see that springs down, but I can't pull it out. It doesn't seem to want to come out on that one. I did give it a go with my pliers. But yeah, that's an RPZ valve. And what I can do is, if anybody's interested, I can rig that up and we can actually run through the test procedure. That one's been letting by badly. I think that's why I took it out. I took that one out a while ago, to be fair. I just thought I'd show you what it is. So if things ever fail, they basically fail to save. It's a bit like an unvented discharge really. You've got a tundish and then that will go into a drain. But yeah, you can see that one's been leaking a while. But yeah, that's what it is, that's what it does. So if you ever come across one, you do need to be qualified to work on them. I'll drop that, that's just a bit of an insight. Back of the van's a mess. I'm cleaning that out as we speak. The job I'm about to show you was it was 6-bar pressure relief leaking on the, I call them composite valves or combination valves on the unvented cylinder. You need to be G3 to work on these, so it's not DIY. One thing I would say, I do carry a lot of stuff in the van. I do carry a lot of bits for unvented cylinders, and potentially I could have got away with just changing the guts at the 6-bar relief on this one. But the reason I changed the whole block in the end is because the customer was complaining of low water pressure as well, and sometimes the pressure reduction valves can get a little bit scaled up, or we do live in quite a hard water area, so sometimes to eliminate callbacks I just changed a lot. This one had also been leaking a while as well. It was nearly running full bore, and sometimes the actual seat of the pressure relief valve was letting by, so that's why I decided to change the whole block on it. I'm not trying to justify what I do. I'm just saying there's sometimes more than one way to skin a cat, and sometimes when you're on a job in the heat of the battle, you only do what you think is right sometimes. But yeah, we'll get straight on with it. This pressure relief valve off that combi block's absolutely pouring through. I've just turned the water off on that lever valve over there and opened the hot tap downstairs, so it's got rid of the water. What I'll do is I'll pump that blue vessel there, and then we're just going to swap that combi block out, because the only one I've got in the van has a different PRV on it. It's a different. I could probably just get away with changing the PRV, but I'm in the middle of nowhere, and that was a 3/4 one, and that's a clip. So I'm just going to swap that combi valve out. Should be a straight swap. Oh no, it's different, innit? It's different, innit? There's different connections on it. I'll have a look at that. I'll see if I've got just a PRV in the van. Just pump that expansion vessel. One thing I would say is put a little bit of grease on the Schrader valve, because they're less likely to let by then. I will check that with some LDF, but the only one I've got in the van is different, so I'll just have to jig the expansion vessel pipe with. The balance cold feed should be the same, he says. Yeah, balance cold feed will be straight off the side, and I'll just have to put a main line in there and then just pipe it round the back. But this will be all drained because this is above the height of the cylinder. We should be good just to disconnect this.
That one that I wanted, I knew I'd have one if I looked long enough. It's just finding it in my van. So that is a straight swap for the one that's in. So we'll get that one swapped out. I think I'm just going to change the lot, to be fair, because pressure seems a bit low. So that pressure reduction valve could be a little bit faulty. So we'll get it swapped out. I just need to swap that male iron into that plug, and then that is the right one. I do carry all these bits, but it's just finding them on my van. Nightmare sometimes. I think this will sort the problem, and I'll double check the expansion vessel. Just locks out this back up. Still prefer Loctite 55 to anything Rapid Blue or anything like that. This stuff's never let me down, so I'll continue using it. I don't like changing what I use. If something's good, it's good. I'm not saying that Rapid Blue stuff isn't. I'm not saying I shouldn't be using an adjustable spanner, but it'll be fine. Snip that back up. Alright, make sure you jet blue all them up. No problems. And then this should. That should be a straight swap. He says. Should be now. Makes life a bit easier, doesn't it? Hand tight first, because you don't want to cross anything, and then just nip all them up, and that should be good. Right, that's got all that tightened back in. Get the water back on carefully without falling through the roof. And hopefully that'll stop the dripping, and I'll check the pressure, see if it's increased it. Should be good. I probably could have got away with just changing that, but seeing as I got the whole lot and I'd already took it out, I thought it was wise just to change it, especially because the customer said the pressure was quite low anyway. I mean, it could just be the water pressure in the building, but she said it's got worse, so potentially that filter could be blocked, or the reduction valves failed a little bit, but that'll be sound. So I didn't quite get my camera out quick enough to catch the Lancaster. It literally flew right over my head. I got a few pictures, but I decided not to video until the last second. But I thought we'd end with a picture of the sea. I nearly losing my hat there as well. So I forgot to show it in the last video. I know the one where I was out with the soil pipe, but I thought I'd show it in this one. You probably can't hear me because it's so windy. So as always, thank you so much for watching the videos. It really does mean a lot of support. And yeah, we'll catch you next time. I'm just going to have a walk on the promenade for a couple of minutes. Pretend I'm on holiday.